Hey guys, welcome to Catalonia in Spain, and you might recognize this, an Aston Martin DB11, but it's slightly different from the DB11 that we reviewed last year. This is the new DB11 V8. What's changed? Well, a few small aesthetics on the outside, but the big changes are here under the hood. And that means going from a V12 to a V8, the engine size is very different. So the handling of the car is going to be something we haven't seen before. Plus, this car is now even more affordable. We're going to look at the outside and those changes. We're going to get on the inside and see how the car's changed on the inside. But the best part is we're going to get to start it, put it on the roads of Spain. All right, Simon, inside your brand new DB11 V8 version, so tell me what I'm expected to feel as opposed to our little trip this time last year in the V12.
So, in normal motorway driving, you really won't feel, in normal cruising mode, you won't really feel any difference at all. Where you will feel the difference is the kind of roads that we're here on now, where we're starting to load the car up. By changing the V12 to a V8, we've got significant weight saving of 115 kilos. That has actually changed the weight distribution by 2 percentage points, front and rear.
The biggest difference, of course, under the hood, but before we get there, we should also mention the hood, or the bonnet if you're from England. This was the largest piece of aluminum ever made into a single hood. And so they had to actually come up with a special piece of machinery. But the big difference is actually under the hood. We've lost 4 cylinders, and that means the weight distribution up front is completely different. You can see the engine is pushed all the way back, and that means a different ride and handling.
In terms of ultimate output, torque is close. So the 5.2 litre V12 twin turbo puts out 700 Newton meters. The 4 litre twin turbo V8 engine puts out 675. But I think for the horsepower figure, that's where you would notice the bigger difference. 600 horsepower for the V12 and 503 horsepower for the V8.
So cornering in this, does it feel like there's a little more push in the back than in the front?
Yeah, so the changes that we've made to the suspension, it's damper hardware, damper tune as well, specifically what we call that character separation. So you still have your 3 suspension modes, GT, Sport and Sport Plus, but we've taken the decision in Sport Plus mode, we just wanted a little bit more character separation between Sport and the Sport Plus mode, between the V8 and the V12 version.
So what's the difference on the exterior between the DB11 V8 and the V12? Well, the V12 has a bevel here on the grille, which is not on the V8. It only has 2 vents on the V8 versus 4 vents on the hood on the V12. The V8 has a black surround to the lights, black wheels, and the final unique piece is this Aston Martin script at the back. It's never been spelt out on any Aston Martin car, and eventually this will carry over to the V12. I'm not quite sure what the setup's changed at the top here, but it doesn't quite look the same as the last one. So
inside, the main hardware of the cabin is actually exactly the same.
Colour differences.
There are colour differences. We've made some running changes to some elements of the car, so that might be here within the door pull area. It might be the air vent centre rotaries. They have been upgraded as well. These were silver on the V12, so these are
something wasn't quite
so these are running, interior harmony changes that we're applying both to the V8 and to the V12.
Actually, I really enjoy this. What was the price difference for the US? The US V12 started at $225, and now it's at $199 for this. Is that about right?
That sounds about right. Yes.
It's hard for me. Is that would I negate the extra $25,000 and might as well just buy the V12?
I think for a lot of customers, it's all down to choice. For some customers in some markets, that will be a much clearer choice. because of maybe their tax structure,
Yeah.
or as we discussed earlier, how their CO2 plays a stronger role in the overall pricing. Other markets, particularly somewhere like the US, there aren't those barriers or influences on customer purchase, and ultimately it's then going to boil down to choice. Are you looking for, as the old American adage goes, there's no substitute for cubes?
Right.
Clearly the V12 still exists.
Right.
It is the flagship of the DB11 range. The V8 is in no way a lesser car. It is just a different car with different character, but can still deliver, as you can hear and feel, and the way it sounds and goes. You know,
Yeah.
very strong performance. Will still do 187 miles an hour. Will still do 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds. But with it, it delivers, you know, a lighter package, a cleaner package, and a slightly more efficient package in terms of its CO2 output and ultimately its fuel economy, depending on how you use your right foot, of course.
For me, it's quite heavy.
So
I'm
maybe
being very
the
good
V12
right
is
now.
the one to go for all along.
Brand new Aston Martin DB11 V8 arriving in dealerships very soon with a starting price of just under $199,000. For OurAutoExpert.com, I'm Nick Miles.